1999 Mazda MX5. This is the 1.8 model. It was driven to us recently by the current owner. There's a couple of little cosmetic issues with it, which we'll show you as we go around. But it is a pretty solid, straight little car. It does come with a hard top, which you can see here. It was on the car, but we have pulled it off just because I want to show you the convertible. Quite often when you see them with hard tops on, you wonder what state the convertible top is underneath. But actually, if you look at this one, glass heated rear screen, lovely and tidy, really, really good hood. There's not a mark or a tear or a hole on it. Fits really well, really, really good. So it was definitely worth showing you that. Start by having a look at the bodywork. If we start on this front corner, this front bumper's all nice and clean, as you can see. Going into this arch, now there is some bubbling on the arch and a little bit of a reaction there. Somebody, if you can see there, has tried touching it in at some point or slowing it down or whatever they've done is not very pretty. You see there, it goes on. So obviously it wants the arch sorting out and that blended in. But the actual inside of the arch is not horrendous. It's not brilliant, it's not horrendous. Good wheel and tyre there. Importantly, the sills and the jacking points and things all look to be relatively good. A little bit of dirt on there. But other than that, it seems to be pretty good. A couple of marks on this wing mirror here. Driver's door is nice and clean. This rear arch, you've got a little bit of surface rust appearing on the very leading edge, as you can see. A tiny little bit. Well, they all start to go, but other than that, actually from the outside, as you can see, it's pretty good. Another good wheel and tyre there. The rest of this panel's all nice and clean. On the rear, both tail light lenses are nice and clean, not faded or anything like that. The lower half of the bumper's all good. You've got a couple of tiny little marks here where it's, I don't even know what would cause that, a couple of tiny little marks. And the plate's faded if we're going to be particularly picky. On this passenger side, so looking down, you can see it is nice and straight. This arch, pretty much the same as the other side, except for you've got a bit more down this bottom end. Another good wheel and tyre. All the chrome work and everything's good. The fuel cap around the area, all these little fixtures and everything are all nice. Again, it's had a repair here at some point, which is not the prettiest. But the rest of the sill seems to be all right. Got a bit of rust there. Passenger door, all nice and clean. A couple more marks on the wing mirrors. And then the same sort of story on this arch. So a little bit of bubbling here and here. It's got a matte sort of finish where it's had that repair done at some point, but it really just wants the arches sorted out. The rest of it's a nice clean car. It's kind of a shame, really. A couple of little stone chips here and there, as you'd expect, but nothing particularly major. Front bumper's nice and tidy. It's got a little chrome cover on that lower half, but it's not an awful one. And you've got a little stone chip in the plate. Both headlights nice and clean. Normally they're very milky, but actually are quite good. Bonnet, nice and straight. No sign of any dents or anything. It's a shame it needs a paintwork really, because it is all one colour silver apart from those little areas. Around the pillar and everything's all nice. Like I say, that hood's lovely. Interior wise, silver outside, black interior. Nice clean door card. Sill and everything's good. This seat all nice and clean. No real signs of any wear. It has got sort of like a, I'm guessing, aftermarket wood pack fitted, so around the vents, on the gear lever, around the windows, handbrake, around the stereo, all that sort of stuff. But other than that, all nice and clean in here. It has done 65,000 miles. It does seem to leave an ABS light on. I'm not sure if that'll go with driving, but presume it won't. It does seem to run and drive fine. It was driven to us. I briefly had it around the block. It feels like an MX5. Open that boot while we're there. In here, all nice and clean. As you can see, there's no nasty smells or anything like that. Original spare wheel. And jack and things in there. Battery's good on it. There is some corrosion on the leading edge here, as you can see. It isn't coming round on the cosmetic side of it. It is just purely on the underside. And then passenger side, all nice and clean in there. As you can see, pop round and open the bonnet. Like I say, 1.8 model, this one, 65,000 miles. We will detail in the description what we've got in the way of service history and paperwork with it. As you can see, you've got a little bit of surface rust on the bottom there, but the inner wings, everything seemed to be good, as does this panel here. Inner wing on this side, so it seems to be nice. Doesn't seem to be dropping any oil or anything. It was parked in one spot for a couple of days. There's no sort of pools underneath it or anything like that. You could do with a good clean in there. Like I say, it's been with us a little while. It was driven to us. It starts on the button, but it is a Mazda. Pretty bulletproof, these things. So there you have it. Mazda MX5 1.8. Any questions, please get in touch.